Dahab life.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dahab Live diving video. This video was taken by Mark, our reinforcement from Holland, and the video was taken in February 2020 at the dive site we call the Bannerfish Bay. It's a very diverse, very interesting dive site. It's one of the most beautiful. It starts from the shallow, from the surface. The reef goes all the way to the surface and then slowly slopes down to 30-35 meters, and it's surrounded by a very sandy area with not a lot of corals on that area. So it's a diverse. You have these coral blocks with the small fish fisheries, nurseries for small fish, and corals and anemones. Like right now in the middle of the screen you have an anemone with 2-3 anemone fish on it. That is also known as the Nemo from the animation movie. They live their whole life on that one anemone, and the biggest of the group is always the leader of the group and leader of the family. We'll talk about them a little bit more on upcoming videos because they're very interesting species. And here's Mark taking a selfie, as every photographer and videographer do. And this is the sandy bit between two blocks of reef going down from surface to 35. We call it a finger reef. And these finger reefs help with the erosion of the seabed on the area, and are the home for all these different species that we see here, like the Anthias right now in the middle down. We have a school of them, and this area is called the Bannerfish Bay because of the schooling bannerfish that live on this area, and here's two of them. At a certain time of the year we can have hundreds of these bannerfishes on one school here. It's a very diverse and interesting dive site. These finger reefs form the home, the nursery for the small fish species, and we have morays here, we have crabs, we have turtles living on this area. On this specific dive site you can find 3 different turtles normally, depending on where they are, because during the day they go feed themselves to deeper waters, and then afternoon they come back here, and you have a better chance of finding one of them eating the seagrass on the sandy areas. On the sandy area we also have lots of other species that you can't really see, but they are there. You have different cobies with crabs, you have hermit crabs, you have a lot of stuff that is hiding under the sand itself. We have stargazers, we have what we in Europe call flounders, and here locals call the Moses sole. 3 different species of those, but they camouflage so well that you can't really see them unless they move. On this area right here you can see some blocks of rock, and we believe that is because on this area exactly there used to be a port that we made an episode about that is right above this area. Here we have a porcupine fish, really cool guys. They don't really care about us. They are very poisonous. Every spike you have there contains neurotoxins that they use for defending themselves, and they can also blow themselves up into very big size, not to fit into predator's mouth, and then they are part of the family of pufferfish. This is the edge of the finger reef that is then turning into sandy area. This is one of the places where we have sometimes big stuff coming, big fish that come to the area. They like to kind of hide on this barren area where there is not a lot of coral and no competition from other predators. The spots of yellow coral that you've seen already before, they're called the cabbage coral, and we as divers, we use those for kind of like markers during your dive. You recognize them, they've been there for a long time, they grow very slowly, and they stay in one place, so we use those as navigation points during the dive so that we always know where we are. Here we have one lionfish hunting. They normally sleep during this time of the day, but sometimes you see individuals, like in this case, there's two of them who are actually hunting in the morning. They were not satisfied what they got during the night. It's mostly nocturnal species, so it mostly hunts at night. This is a species that is very common here and is becoming slowly a problematic invasive species in the Mediterranean Sea, because they do travel through the Suez Canal to Mediterranean Sea, and they don't have natural predators there at all, so they multiply quite easily, and the water temperatures are favorable for them. There is one sleeping, which is what they normally do at this time of the day. They hunt early morning when the sun comes up, and then afternoon, and then they move around during the night a lot more. Daytime they just normally hide under the corals somewhere. It's interesting because this kind of looks like dead seabed, which it's not. It's full of life. And you kind of need to remember that not to touch anything anyway, because everything is alive on this area. This is a very interesting spot of these three cabbage corals. It's a good landmark for us. It's a very busy meeting place, a lot of species, quite often 1 to 2 morays hiding underneath, 10 to 15 lionfish hiding underneath. In a minute or two we will see, the camera goes there to see them. There's a clarinet fish on the left, one lonely hunting lionfish on top. The clarinet fish are funny, they quite often follow the divers and they hide behind our shadow and hunt from there. So they follow you, they just use you to get their prey easier. They eat small fish babies mostly. This lionfish looks like he's kind of like, I'm not sure about you guys, but I allow you to be here. They don't give you room, you have to give them room. All of their spikes are also poisonous, and it's quite potent neurotoxin in there. It's kind of same kind of toxin that the bees have, but about 20 times more potent. And then here we have a whole family of lionfish spending their day sleeping on the shadow of the corals. This is again on the way back on the area where you have some rock formations that have been collapsed from closer to the surface where the marina was. But on top of them, in between them, everywhere small starting building blocks for coral reef. We are now at approximately 9 meters deep, and you can slowly see the red color coming back to the picture, because deeper you are, you lose different colors, and the red one is the first one to go. Now Mark is coming to 7-8 meters, and you can see a little bit of red already coming back. And this is towards the end of the dive site. There's sandy dunes with lots of seagrass, so a lot of different fish, including razorfish, come here during the night and eat from the seagrass.
The Dahab life.